If you're looking to handle any terrain in any weather and you want to do it in style and sophistication, then I present to you this SUV. Hi, I'm Randall Lightstone with WatchMojo.com, and today we're going to take a look at Land Rover's brand new 2011 Range Rover Sport Supercharged. So for 2011, not much changed with the Range Rover interior-wise. Basically, all they did was upgrade the type of materials that they used to make everything. So steering wheel is a lot plushier, it feels kind of like a pillow. The dash feels soft, and actually the materials that they used are called soft touch. So it was made to make this interior much more comfortable, much more kind of plushy. And of course up here you have your integrated in-dash entertainment system, which is also touchscreen. I've never really liked Land Rover Jaguar's system. I find it very unfriendly for the user. It's not very intuitive, the folders are very hard to get to, and it looks very 80s in the design. The icons are very old school. Now again, if I owned this vehicle and I spent enough time with it, I'd probably get very used to it and I would love the system. But as first impressions go, I find it very difficult to use. What's not hard to use is their off-road settings down here. And again, this is standard for all Land Rover and Range Rovers. You have your settings for any type of terrain, from snow to rocks to gravel to sand. And because this is the Sport Supercharged version, you also have a dynamic mode down here. So what that does is it tightens up your throttle, it also tightens the suspension so that when you corner there's very little roll, and it makes your steering response much more active. You also have your ride height down here as well, and this is to adjust it up or down, depending on the road surface you're on. Now of course this is for off-road reasons, however I like to use it for convenience reasons. I'm a little person, so I like to lower the vehicle so it's easier for me to get in and out, also for me to load stuff in the back. Of course, if I was a true off-road enthusiast, I would be using it to raise the height of the vehicle so that it wouldn't scrape or bump or do anything to the undercarriage. And then of course you always have your gear ratios here as well, high and low, depending on if you're highway or in the mountains doing some heavy-duty off-road again. I really love to drive the Range Rover. Now of course I love Land Rovers as well. They're very regal, they're very kind of high and mighty, but there's something elite about the Range Rover that just really gets me going when I'm behind the wheel. And I think that has to do with the V8 5-liter engine that pushes out 510 horsepower. Now of course this is an SUV, it's a larger vehicle, but because of this engine and because of the way it's engineered, it feels so much faster and it feels so light and so nimble, and of course you have the dynamic mode which helps you with that. The way it drives is actually sporty. And I think that's something that Range Rover does that no other sporty SUV can do. You're in a very large vehicle. It has all-wheel drive, it has all these off-road capabilities, yet you feel like you're in a smaller, nimbler sedan. And that's just fantastic. You have all this room, you have all this luxury, you have all of these amenities, and yet you still have a vehicle that can go. I mean, 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds in an SUV, that's amazing. While there are plenty of other vehicles out there that claim to have off-road capabilities, few do it with the style and sophistication that Land Rover does. And when it comes to the true sporty SUV, the Range Rover truly is the top of the line.